This is the story of how two men, Georges Jacques Danton and Maximilien Robespierre, were both able to contribute to the French Revolution. The paths they took were different, and in the end, both died for their cause.
The Jacobin Club was a group of radicals that both Georges Jacques Danton and Maximilien Robespierre were part of. They played a major role in being the leaders of the radical group. Danton played a major role in the creation of the Committee of Public Safety, which Robespierre was also a part of. Bright but lazy, Georges learned quickly what he wanted to learn, but was not concerned with anything that did not interest him. He got his law degree at Reims, and then traveled to Paris to set up a practice. Georges was fairly successful as a lawyer, especially one from the middle class, and seemed on his way to a stable and uneventful future.
Danton showed an early interest in the Revolution, although not a deputy to either the Estates General or the National Assembly. He became a local leader in his district, a captain in the National Guard, and helped set up a political club that would become of utmost importance in the days to follow, the Cordeliers Club. By the time Danton was elected a deputy to the National Convention, he had already allied himself with the far left, the Montagnards.
He became Minister of Justice in the Girondin cabinet, the only Montagnard member, and it was he who rallied Paris after the Brunswick Manifesto in a famous speech in which he asked for audacity, again audacity, and always audacity. He virtually saved Paris in 1792, though some say he sold the crown jewels in order to buy the victory at Valmy.
After a trip inspecting the armies in Belgium in 1793, he came home to find that his beloved wife Gabrielle had been dead for 3 days. Robespierre, empathizing, sent him a letter in which he said that, "You and I are one." It is much debated how Danton reacted to this declaration of faith from the incorruptible. It is known that a year after it was sent, Robespierre had Danton beheaded.
Although Danton was the man chiefly responsible for many accountments of the terror, such as the Revolutionary Tribunal, he became sick of politics shortly after his wife died. When he returned to politics after remarrying, he began asking for clemency. Whether to hide his own corrupt dealings or out of genuine compassion is still a matter of debate, refusing to believe that Robespierre would ever have the audacity to arrest him again.
Danton refused to flee and was arrested at 2 a.m. His trial was a notoriously unfair procedure. 7 jurors were picked instead of the normal 12, witnesses for the defense were not allowed to be called, and eventually, even the accused themselves were not allowed to speak. Danton and his accomplices were declared guilty in absentia. To the end, Danton retained his earthly good humor. His last words to the executioner were, "Show my head to the people, it will be worth it."
With the death of likes of Danton and the guillotine frenzy that was the reign of terror, Robespierre's platform of support had narrowed, and it was inevitable it would fall apart. The 9th day of Thermidor was when Robespierre was arrested.
The arresting of Robespierre occurred when Jean Lambert Tallien, who was a part of a Montagnard conspiracy, read a report to the Committee of Public Safety and proceeded to denounce Robespierre's tyranny. Other members of the far left joined in, and before Robespierre was able to defend himself fully, he was arrested.
Over the next 2 days, Robespierre and 82 of his associates were guillotined. The conspirators on the 9th day of Thermidor, later known as Thermidorians, were able to use this leverage to turn around the very far left, radical government that was ruling over France at the time. More moderate politicians were able to come to power after that.
The significance of the 9th day of Thermidor not only lays in the fact that Robespierre was arrested and on the 10th day guillotined, but that Thermidor is a part of a calendar that is a product of the French Revolution itself. With the help of astrologers, mathematicians, and naval geographers, the French Republic calendar was made.
After the death of Robespierre, the Thermidorians consolidated their power and ratified a new constitution. Power was doled out among 3 main bodies: the Council of Ancients, the Council of 500, and a 5-man directory. The Council of Ancients and the Council of 500 held legislative power and chose the 5 men for the directory, which held executive power. With this government, France could look forward to how brief, a bright, moderate future, which a Thermidorian reaction and Danton both contributed to.
The significance of the 9th day of Thermidor not only lays in the fact that Robespierre was arrested and on the 10th day guillotined, but that Thermidor is a part of a blah blah blah. The significance of the 9th day of Thermidor not only lays in the fact that Robespierre was arrested and on the 10th day guillotined, but that Thermidor...
Although Danton was the man chiefly responsible for many of the accountments of the terror such as the Revolutionary Tribunal, he became sick of politics shortly after his wife died. When he returned to politics after remarrying, he began asking for clemency, whether to hide his own corrupt dealings or out of genuine passion is still a matter of debate.
Just around the room. Fuck you!